talking about here. Okay, let's pass this back to Julie if we would.
I'm brand new to this, and I'm wondering when you talk about the conscious competence, if maybe that is what the practice sessions or groups are kind of designed for, that you can sit there and be consciously, competent trying to do it, so that you have a safe place to practice.
Are you saying that when you hear about the strategy, you're feeling curious and you have a need to understand, and you're requesting me to tell you how I feel?
No. I have no idea what you just said. So. No, I'm just saying that the practice groups that you talked about, it seems like that might be a place where you can safely be consciously competent and, trying to say the right things in that space, so that when you go out, you don't have to practice that on unsuspecting.
And I'm so tempted to do it to you again, but I'm not going to do it to you again.
Well, I don't know what you said, so anyway, that's all that I'm trying to share.
No, but I do want to connect with what you're saying. So actually, could you give her back the mic in case she says anything else? So Julia,
I'm not going to say it. Another thing.
So I'm sad about that. I overused my playfulness. So I was being playful with you when I responded the first time. But I do want to connect with what you're bringing. Is you're wondering about the practice group maybe being an environment in which we can practice, kind of consciously practice the competence in a safe environment where there's agreement and everyone is kind of there for the same reason. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I just, in spite of how much fun I had, I notice I'm feeling... I notice I'm feeling a little bit of mourning because I'm sensing that I lost a little bit of what might have been possible with connection with you through my playfulness.
No. That don't worry about that. I just, I don't know. It was too many words I didn't understand, so I just moved on. It's like when you're reading a character's name you can't pronounce. So just when you see that group of words, you say, "Oh yeah, that's that character," and you don't even try to pronounce that.
I love that because I was in a role. I was playing a role of conscious, competent trainer, right? And I threw all the right words at her, right? Very formulaic. And it created a different kind of energy. Playful or not, it had an impact. Okay, so I think that's worth noting. So thank you, Julie, for staying with me and for expressing that. Yeah. Okay. Let's hear one more. Let's hear from Brenda.
Jeff, I just wanted to share that I shared over lunch an experience I had at work where they know that I'm practicing this new language, and they don't know about it. But I told them that I needed to share something at our staff meeting in this new language. And I told them I felt scared and that I would want their patience while I practiced it, because I actually had to write it down. And I was actually able to read my observation and my feeling and my need and my request. And my voice was shaking, and they were patient and they received it, and they didn't make fun of it until like 3 days later. So it was good.
They gave you a reprieve, a 3-day window. I want to say one thing to what you said, Brenda. You said your voice was kind of shaking. So I'm guessing for you it was a vulnerable act.
Scary honesty.
Scary honesty. And I'd just like to point out that it was received, it sounds like positively. They were patient, and they made fun of it later, but in the moment they had patience and receptivity. And to me, that's vulnerable honesty in action. Is when people get that we're being open and vulnerable and authentic, it's almost like a hush comes over the room. They're kind of hanging out, talking by the water cooler, and all of a sudden, something's different, right? Because most people don't talk like that. So maybe in your environment, Brenda, it really got their attention. They're like, oh, this is something a little different flavor than I usually get at work. Does that speak to it at all?
It speaks to it because 4 employees came up to me and thanked me for saying what I said, so it wasn't only my consciousness at the moment. The boss asked me, however, next time to do that in private. She didn't appreciate that I...
Okay. But your coworkers are on your side. Thank you, Brenda. All right. Yeah, could you just click that off, Kelvin?